Now, this is probably the most important point in this. How many of you know a fair number of millennials or Gen Z? Raise your hand if you do. Is that illegal? Okay. One of the things I want you to network down, because one of the things I have seen, okay, a lot of us, our networks are aging out, i.e., the people who brought us along in our career, they have retired, they are no longer in power, or in the pandemic, they died. I want you to start strategically networking down. Now, that's a problem in the fact that we, again, like I talked before, we have a habit of age segregating. It's the way society works. So one of the things I use the example, I gave this presentation back in 2018 to Launchpad, my job club here in Austin. And I had a gentleman, when I brought this up, he said, "Oh, I volunteered for the Beto O'Rourke Senate campaign." And he says, "I was surrounded by smart, enthusiastic millennials." His opinion of that age group changed dramatically. He built up a network of people. So one of the things I want you to think about is, where can you volunteer your time? Or what groups, networking groups, that you can get involved with that have people there, where the people who are younger than you. Because, by the way, they communicate differently, they network differently, and you need to learn to adapt. This is probably the number one problem a lot of us have, because I'll put it bluntly, where I live in Mexico, I'm surrounded with a bunch of old gringos. I forcefully, when I get out, and like right now, while I am here this week, I've got, I don't know, 12, 15 coffee and beer meetings set up this week. I'm out. In fact, I had 2 today. I had coffee and lunch. I got another 2 to set up for tomorrow. So Elle says, "I'm a millennial and have not thought about doing that. I don't feel comfortable with the young professionals being 37 and the oldest person about is 29 or 30. I feel like a big age difference to me, but it's a good idea to do." How long is your typical coffee meeting? Typically an hour. Like I met with Steve Harper this morning. And I've known him. First thing question is, how are you kids doing? I noticed on Facebook that your kids just graduated from college, or at least his oldest one did. In other words, I put the emphasis on him, trying to get him to talk to me. And by the way, Steve's like 50. He's a young guy. So this is one of the things I want you to put a focus on. And by the way, you can do this virtually over Zoom. You could even use this thing called a phone. In fact, I regularly do that now.